Welcome, everyone, and thank you for attending today's online media campus webinar, Rethinking Paywalls. My name is Erica Michelson, the Program and Membership Coordinator for the Iowa Newspaper Foundation. Online Media Campus is a partnership between the Iowa Newspaper Foundation, the America's Newspapers, and partnering press associations. We offer a variety of webinars each year covering various topics in the newspaper industry. We are very pleased to have you joining us today. I will introduce our speaker in a moment, but first let's go over a few points of information about today's webinar. We will be taking questions throughout and after the presentation, so please feel free to submit questions at any time using the Q&A icon or the chat box on your screen. There will also be a post-webinar survey at the end to fill out. An archive of this presentation will be available for you to view on the Online Media Campus website, and you will receive a follow-up email with instructions on how to access the archive. I would now like to introduce our presenter, Matt Larson. Matt Larson is the president and CEO of ourhometown.com and has proudly served the newspaper industry for 12 years. His company provides a WordPress-based platform that has been customized for newspapers to help them monetize their content online. Their mission is to help community newspapers develop digital business models with tools for better storytelling and more efficient local news production. Larson leads a monthly virtual conference series where he interviews newspaper publishers from all over the country and how they are utilizing digital to connect with socially distant readers. He is also the publisher of Our Hometown News, which is a weekly blog and video and audio podcast series which discusses tech tips, marketing strategy, and industry news and events. Thank you for being with us today, Matt. I will now hand it over to you to get the program started.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Erica. Let me go ahead and turn it over to my screen. If you would stop sharing your screen, I think I need you to do that first. Okay, great. Let's see here. Switch it over to screen number 2. Okay, and let me go ahead and start my video. Okay, thank you for your patience as we get started here. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for taking the time to join us today. And Erica, again, thank you so much for that introduction. And I really want to thank the Online Media Campus and America's Newspapers for organizing and promoting this webinar. I also just want to say I really admire what the OMC and America's Newspapers has been doing for the industry. I've attended many of your webinars and enjoy your newsletters, so I'm really proud to be part of this webinar series. Today, we are going to be rethinking paywalls. This is a presentation I have given 4 or 5 times in the last 3 months for different state associations. We did it with the NNA. Yesterday, we did it with the Illinois Press Association, our virtual conferences. And what you're going to see today is our process for thinking about digital subscriptions at different types of newspapers. So basically, when a newspaper approaches Our Hometown and they want to use our platform, we do look at the whole spectrum. So I'm going to focus on 3 main areas today. The first is the paywall models available. Second is how to calculate your pricing and what different subscription products to offer. And third is how to think about your marketing both short-term and long-term. Okay, now I just want to point out every time I do this presentation, I learn something new from the attendees. And this talk continues to evolve. So I really want to encourage you to ask questions throughout the presentation, make comments, and we'll be watching the chat box very closely. But let's get into it here. I want to give you some quick background on Our Hometown just for some context. We are a family business founded in upstate New York in 1997. We currently manage hundreds of newspaper websites and native apps across North America. And we do it all on a WordPress-based platform, which has been customized for newspapers. Our number one priority has always been customer support. And that actually is a great segue to introduce our guests today. From our publisher support team, we have Terry joining us. Welcome, Terry.
Hi, Matt. Hi, everybody. Proud to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. So Terry, you are answering publisher questions all day long, helping them make use of the platform better. So I couldn't think of a better person to invite here to talk us through the frequently asked questions that we see from newspaper publishers. And I'm assuming that many of the attendees today will may have asked many of these same questions yourself of your website provider. So we're going to talk about that, and also just I want to point out the fact that because we're on WordPress, it's an open source CMS. It's very easy to modify the platform, much easier than a proprietary system. And so our platform is constantly evolving, just like this presentation. And the feature set that we have available to publishers is based entirely on publisher feedback. So that's really what these conferences are all about. In the next 30 to 45 minutes, let me just give you a quick outline. Like I said, we're going to talk about paywall models, pricing, and also the importance of auto renewal, strategies for marketing digital subscriptions, the subscription sales blitz, this concept I want to introduce you to. You've probably heard of ad sales blitzes before. This is a new concept. And now before we get into it, if everyone could please locate the questions box. And I want to have a little fun here. We're going to do the first person to type in an answer to this question wins a prize at the end of the webinar. Okay? And so the question is, we're just looking to understand our audience a little bit better, and the people that are coming to these webinars. So if you could type your name, the paper you're with, your print publication frequency, and the estimated number of digital subscribers, that would be excellent. Okay, I think so. I see we already have a winner, but we'll announce it at the end. Okay, but keep the answers coming, please. All right, great. Thank you very much for that. Let me just open up the chat. I actually don't have that open yet. Let me move it over here so I can monitor. Okay, great. So let's get to the FAQs, because as I said, everything that we do is based on what publishers have needed of a website provider for the last 23 years. So every feature on the CMS is based on that. So what kind of FAQs have we seen this year, Terry, from customers? I think this first one is our most popular FAQ in 2020 because of everything going on.
That is correct. We had a group of papers in Florida. They're actually a free weekly. And, being the times that we're in, they ask, we are thinking about finally launching a paywall. Right. What are the different paywall models available, and which have you seen the most success with?
Right. Yeah. This question is coming from publishers of all types, and I think the most remarkable thing is we're hearing this question from a lot of publishers that have free print editions. This is one example, and we'll talk about a couple others. I like to talk about those cases because it's like if they are going for paywalls, then it's clear that is the way forward for the news industry. So let's talk about the different paywall models that are out there. Okay, this is a list that's based on what's available on our platform, but also what we've seen out there in the market, and we've taken ideas from a lot of the industry leaders. But the first one, we're going to see a whole spectrum here, from the most conservative to the most liberal, in terms of giving away content. The hard paywall is going to be the most restrictive, and it requires you to be a paid subscriber to access everything. So I'm going to actually exit out of this slideshow for a second and give you a quick preview of this. So if I click on an article, so actually everyone is familiar with this, but I'd just like to show everyone, just as a baseline, this is what would happen on every single article on the website. So you get the teaser, but you've got to log in or subscribe right there to read any more. So that's kind of your baseline. But then once you start talking soft paywalls, you've got this whole spectrum, okay? And I would categorize a soft paywall as a mix of paid and free access content. The first version of that would be the specific categories being set for free, which is what we have on journaltrib.com. So let's take a look at exactly how that looks. If I go down the homepage, you see most of these stories are behind the paywall. Actually, I'm logged in right now, so you're not going to see the paywall. But if I scroll down, you see that the columns and commentary category is free, the entire category. So is area deaths, and you usually want to indicate that at the category level, and that's how most CMSs operate, I'm sure. But that's going to be different from the select articles marked for free, which is an example we have with the Gaffney Ledger. Let's take a look at that. Scrolling down the homepage, again, most of these stories are paid, so I'm not logged in here. I'm going to hit the paywall unless it says free access right next to the title. And so publisher, this is really just a matter of preference, what type of model you want to do here between those two. I think if you want to have that level of control in determining what stories are free, then obviously it's the second option. But if you want to kind of set it and forget it, it might make sense to create a category that's free and then just put articles in that category. Okay, and then the third soft paywall model that we've seen, and this model has been around for a while at Port Aransas South Jetty, is what I would call the timed paywall. It's all based on time, whether a story is free or not. Okay, so if I'm looking through the current news, I'm going to have to pay for all of this. Okay, and this is what prompts me to log in. But if I go back into the archives, let's see here, story archives, over 2 weeks into the archives, and everything will be free on the website. So this e-edition should be open, and so is the HTML. Okay, so that's one that a lot of people haven't necessarily heard about. They may not realize is possible. It's kind of that timed paywall model. Now, let's get down to probably the most popular model here that we've seen across the board with our customers and just in our research of the industry, which is the metered paywall model. And we have a good example here at the Chesterfield Observer. This is actually a free print newspaper. They recently launched a paywall, and I'm going to talk about them in more detail in a minute. But as you can see, if I go to their website and click on a story, we have a countdown that appears in the bottom, a little pop-up here. And we give them the opportunity to log in or subscribe right there in several places, and just make it really easy for people to purchase. So that's key, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. Okay, then the last example that I would say it fits in its own category is the registration wall. And I would not recommend this wall for any papers that are paid in print, but if you're a free print newspaper, this can be a nice way to step into digital subscriptions. And that's exactly what they're doing at the Amherst Bee. If we take a look on their site, and I am not logged in, so if I click on an article, I'm going to hit a paywall. But it's not actually a paywall, it's a registration wall. And the difference is that I can just create a free account to get unlimited access to the site. So it's as if it's a neat option. I really like it because it takes your web or your website and makes it not completely open to anyone that wanders in there. But it is easy for them to gain access. They just need to give us their email, and so then we know that this is our actual audience, and they're going to be coming back. I think that model makes a lot of sense. The main reason actually that we recommend it is because when they sign up for a free account on your website, you get their email, automatically goes on your newsletter list, and then you can monetize that through several ways. So that's the business case for it. Okay, and we're going to send out the slides after the call, so you don't need to worry about emailing ops, but we'll send out a PDF of all these links so you have examples for reference. Now let's get actually back into the presentation. At this point, let's pause and get some feedback from everyone. If you could all type in the chat area what kind of paywall model you have on your website today. Are you a full hard paywall, or are you somewhere in the middle with a soft paywall, or are you all the way on the end with a free registration wall, or none of the above? We'd be interested in that too. Let's see if I can. I'm going to keep going, but we're going to want to keep an eye on that, Terry, and see if we can get some feedback. So excellent. Looks like it's happening in the chat. Thank you for posting that question. Okay, and Matthew saying none, but looking to put something in place next year. Great, you're in the right place. Soft paywall, soon to be mixed with a metered paywall. Great, interesting. So when you say soft paywall, you mean you're sending categories for free, Nikki, or individual stories, and now you're going to allow the reader to choose what's free, which a lot of people like. It's really a good user experience, I think. We recommend the metered paywall. I mean, that's based on a lot of data. We think it's the way forward. Okay, so let's jump on to our next FAQ here. Terry, could you walk us through this one?
Yep, we had a publisher in North Dakota ask, can we automatically send a renewal notice to remind readers when their subscription has expired?
Right. Yes, this is a very common question coming from the print world where you might have to get those renewals every 6 months or every year. But I would say with the technology of the web, we can do one better and just auto renew the subscription. We don't need to remind them to renew, just have it be auto renewal from the beginning. So this requires the user to opt out rather than opt in. And naturally, it will increase the retention. If they don't have to do something to continue their subscription, and assuming they're getting value out of it, when they see that charge every month on their credit card, they're going to just let it keep auto renewing. It's convenient for the customer. It can be put, it really is a selling point for your subscription options. And then we've got also just the fact that Netflix has kind of paved the way here for us and set it as a standard in our culture that people pay for digital content, and they pay on a monthly basis usually. So I really like the month-to-month auto renewal model. That way you can do exactly what Netflix does, which is offer the first month for free or a discount just to get them in the system. You get their credit card into your subscription system, but you haven't charged them anything. Then it auto renews at the full price. And that's a model that we are really fond of. So let's just ask a quick question. I don't have a slide for it. Is everyone using auto renewal or not? Let's ask that. And if you offer monthly subscriptions, I'd be interested in that. So like, for example, Nikki, for your current model, I'm interested. And anyone else that hasn't jumped in yet. So let's move on now. Lots of rapid fire FAQs here because it kind of, again, guides the way in the feature descriptions. So let's talk about that next FAQ. Terry, can you walk us through that one?
Sure. How would you recommend we price our digital subscriptions? That's the all-time most requested question.
Right. Even before this year, when everyone was coming to us asking about paywalls when they never asked before, this has always been a popular question. Publishers don't always know where to start. So I just want to walk you through how we think about it and how we walk through the process when we're helping publishers develop digital business models. The first step is with first of all, I just want to point out that these prices are for weeklies. So yesterday we had a bunch of dailies on the call, and I didn't even consider that. But at our hometown, most of our customers are weeklies. So this is what we're focused on. You can adjust the pricing to reflect your frequency. But for a weekly print edition, usually the digital subscription for a single issue sale is in the $2 to $3 range. And that's just based on the fact that most print editions are about $1, and we justify this price because they have unlimited access to the edition once they sign up for the account from any device anywhere in the world. It's just much more convenient than a physical single issue sale. Then you've got the month-to-month auto-renewing subscriptions. So $5 to $10 is the range that we see there, and at the Journal they're on the high end, which is fantastic. It's always better to be on the high end because then you can discount from there much easier. And then the third option that we commonly see is annual in the $50 to $65 range for unlimited access for a year. And I like the idea of keeping it simple with 2 or 3 options like what we have here. So, or even better, just the monthly subscriptions. I really think that Netflix has it. They just there's no decision making involved. If you want Netflix, it's a monthly subscription, and that's the end of the story. Now let's take a look at the chat. So Nikki says we do offer monthly subscriptions, but the vast majority of our subs are are 6 month plus. We do use auto renewal now on our new platform. Okay, great. Yeah, that's interesting. So the vast majority are 6 months or annual. Okay, so that's going to be at a lot of people. We see that too because it's more economical. The rate is always going to be higher if you're doing month to month. Okay, we already said this. Sorry, I kind of alluded to it, but just to be specific, we always recommend charging at least as much as the equivalent period for a print subscription. You definitely don't want to go under for the digital option, because then you're just going to be hurting the print business, and you're just devaluing the website. So ideally, charge 125% of the print cost for an equivalent period. We do that to account for the archive access. So for example, like we said, and again, it leaves room to discount. You charge $1 a week, $5 to $6 a month, I think, is the range you want to be in. And I just want to mention this as part of our onboarding process. When we design a new website, actually before we design the website, we help newspaper publishers put together the business plan for digital. So how much do we project to earn from digital subscriptions at this price point based on all these different variables, and then we move forward with building the website to support that business plan. Okay, back to our FAQ. Terry, what do we have for this one?
Oops, forgot to unmute myself. Sorry about that.
No problem.
What do other publishers do to market subscriptions to the website? Mm-hmm. We have many followers on Facebook and email subscribers on our newsletter list.
Right. Yes. This is all about, I'm really focused on maximizing the resources that we have. A lot of newspapers have tremendous following on Facebook, and they have tons of emails from just being in business for so long and, doing business with so many different people in the community. So we want to make the most of these. So let's talk about this checklist. I have this checklist of 5 places that you want to make sure that you're marketing your digital subscriptions. And remember, the goal is to get them to this page, what we see right here in front of us. This is for the journal trib.com. There are 3 subscription products laid out right there on the subscribe page. That's where we're driving everyone. So how are we going to get them there? Well, the first place is obviously on your homepage. This is where you're going to get the most traffic. Any individual article is never going to come close to the popularity of your homepage. So you want to have it somewhere near the top, and you always want to be thinking really about the mobile homepage. That's actually more important to some publishers than the desktop. They're seeing 75% of their traffic coming from mobile now. So 25% is tablets and desktop combined. So when you're thinking about mobile, you got to make sure, first of all, that your website is mobile responsive. And if it is, recognize how it's going to render on a mobile phone. So you can check this type of thing either using the inspect tool on your desktop browser, or just ideally check your website on your phone regularly. I recommend to publishers they should look at their website 75% of the time, because that's how much their audience is looking at it. And so when you're designing it, you want to make sure that things line up right. So with our platform, because it's mobile responsive, it goes left to right, and it processes the widget and stacks it, and then it goes down to the next level and basically stacks 3 rows into one. So we have the logo, and then these buttons, they get turned into something nice and condensed like this. So this is what people see when they land on the home page from their phone, which again is where most of the traffic's coming from. Either they're coming from social media or the newsletter, and this is the page they're hitting. So we want it to be very clear how they can purchase a subscription. Right now, the Journal Tribune is doing a big push for student coupons, so that's the messaging on this button, but you can have any message here that you want. The other thing I want to point out is apps. So we do native apps for customers, as well as the mobile responsive website. So we've got mobile covered no matter where the audience is. But the way that we think of apps is a way to market the subscriptions on the website. Mainly because of the large percentage that Apple takes of every transaction through the app. We don't do any transactions through the app. We do them all through the website. So the app is a benefit of being a subscriber to the website, right? So basically, when you purchase a subscription to the website, you would use your same login to the app. And when you first download it, you're going to come to this notifications page. And that's the main point I want to make here. The main reason you would do an app, you don't just do an app to have one. It's no longer a novelty in that way. It's got to be part of the strategy. And the way that we see it is that it's promoting the subscriptions on the website. It's an additional benefit of being a subscriber. And also, they're getting this push notification customization. So they can opt in to push, but they're not just, it's not in or out. In other words, it's solving the problem that a lot of apps have, which is that people will opt out of push notifications entirely because there's too many. And so this allows the reader to come in, select their categories right up front, and then also edit them long term if they find that they're just getting too many notifications. Okay, and then this is what the index page looks like. This is what an article would look like if they're logged in. Otherwise, it would be cut off at the teaser. And then again, just a reminder, they can come back and edit those push notification categories at any time. Okay, let's see here. Now let's talk about the article teaser. This is a key point. This is a key sales point, because this is where the leads are. The leads that are seeing this page are not logged into the website. If you've got a metered paywall, they're using up your meter every month, and they're seeing this page every month. So it's really key to think about the design and the user experience here. So I really recommend dressing this up, making it very attractive, making it very clear how they can subscribe or purchase a single issue or just log in, because maybe they're on a new device and they're already a paying subscriber. We want to make it as easy as possible for them to get access. Third area, you just want to have this checked off. You want to have some type of a newsletter going out. You can use third parties. A lot of CMS providers have, well, some I think have it integrated into the website. That's the case with our WordPress platform. But either way, you want to be communicating with your subscriber base, but you also want to have a free newsletter option that people can sign up for to get updates from your paper without paying, because that is really a marketing tool. If you think about it, if they're interested enough to sign up for our newsletter and give us their email, and start getting emails from us every week, they're a lead. They're interested enough in our product to, pay attention, and then we can further nail down who's interested in that population based on the newsletter activity. We can look at who's opening and who's clicking on links in there. So tons of stuff, tons of opportunity for marketing with the newsletter. Oh, and by the way, on our system, I don't know if this is the case this is not a core WordPress function. This is a custom function that we added where we can automatically insert coupons into the newsletter. So every newsletter is going to look like this. It's going to have a nice clean look, and this is going to go out to everyone regardless of if they're a paying subscriber or they're just a newsletter subscriber. But what we can then do is customize the emails that are going to the non-subscribers with a banner across the top that offers maybe a special deal for them to sign up, and only the non-subscribers would get that coupon. So we'd like to do that kind of targeted advertising. Here's a quick case study for you of how a lot of the technology we've talked about so far was applied. We actually looked at the site already, the Chesterfield Observer. I mentioned they're a free print newspaper, and they did it really smart. They actually launched a free registration wall that had a meter on it initially. And this allowed them to not only generate emails, but they also didn't just lock people out and require them to log in. They had that meter element, so the really casual users that didn't want to give their email, they could still use the website. We don't want to completely shut those people out. But the people that are interested enough and they want to read more than a couple articles a week, then they logged in for free. But the key is we then capture their email at that point. So then what they did after a month of the free registration wall, they flipped it over to a metered paywall. And so it was metered throughout. So you kind of have this metered experience. So the people that are just meter users, they're never going to pay and they're never going to register. Their experience is the same throughout. But what changes is that the people had that free trial initially that gave us their email. Now they would have to pay. And they're seeing excellent conversions on this, because what they can do then is use the automated newsletter marketing tools to offer those promotions to the non-subscribers. Okay, feel free to drop any questions at any time as we go on here. But the fourth area that you want to make sure you have checked off on your list is social media. I, you know, I know a lot of newspapers see social media as just extra work, and it kind of is. But the audience is there. There's no denying it. I would say that you don't want to put all your eggs in this basket, though, and just focus on social media, because at the end of the day, it's the algorithms that determine who actually sees your content. So that's why you want to, prioritize the newsletter, have the control of your readers' emails, so you have the direct communication. But anyway, that's kind of a tangent. Social media, got to be there. We're posting teaser links to our website, never posting actual content on social media, just links to a paywalled website. Writing a brief teaser is always a good idea. And then I really like how the publisher here puts the price right into the post. So it's right up front. Now let's talk really quick about a tool that we have at our hometown. So any of our hometown customers on the call, you can have this today. This is a new plugin that we announced this month that would automatically post every article that's published on your WordPress site to your social media channels. So it basically eliminates that extra work I was talking about earlier, but it allows us to be on social media and have access to that audience. This plugin interfaces with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Reddit, several other social media companies I've never even heard of. And it also allows you to customize the teasers and schedule a social push per article. So you can either automatically push all your content out there or schedule it and make it a little bit more custom, like I said, the way she puts the price in the teaser. I think that's nice. This would be a replacement for something like a Hootsuite, and it allows you to share to multiple Facebook pages. So I think that's, in these days, it's not like a question of whether you should be doing these things, like whether you should be on social media or getting into video and audio. It's just how do you do it in an economical way? And that's what we're focused on at our hometown, is just automating as many of these processes as we can. Okay, fifth area that you want to make sure that you're promoting your website and promoting subscriptions is in the print edition. What we see for that is a lot of papers will put it right in the header or even in the footer, but put it on every page in the footer, their URL, just so that it's easily accessible. Anyone wants to check out the website, they know exactly where to get the URL. They might even have it memorized because they see it all the time. And I would say that I never would have thought that I had to comment on this, but during the shutdown in April and May, when papers weren't publishing, we got a lot of publishers telling us that their readers did not know what the website URL was. Their diehard print audience couldn't even name the URL. So it's something that we definitely could do better at getting out there more. I want to introduce you quickly to our blog here. We've got some other ideas, and feel free to go to our-hometown.com and sign up for our newsletter. We're putting out several articles every week, just general tips that we're learning from the publishers that we work with all over the country to just make better use of their website, and also in this case how to promote their website in the print edition. And we already mentioned publishing it on the front page of your website, or your front page of your print edition, having that URL there. But then there's also several ways that you can continue the story from print to digital, bridge that gap. And one specific example I like is publishing surplus photos on the website in a photo gallery, and specifically mentioning in the print edition that we've got 2 photos from the big homecoming game here. You can see another 50 on our website, and just directing people that are your print audience to the web to actually get content. Same idea with continuing the story online. You could have a long form article on the website. There's never any limitation on space with the web, but with the print, maybe you have a short form version. You can also do things like upload multimedia, PDF documents that you could never print. We're also doing some interesting things. We're trying to just do whatever we can, like I said earlier, to get into multimedia, because that's where the audience is. So what we're doing is this feature called Audio Articles that automatically transcribes your text articles on the website into mini podcasts. And so that allows, and if you can tell people in the print edition, listen to this story online, there's going to be some segment of that audience that loves the radio or loves podcasts, and that will actually generate traffic to your website. In general, the fourth point is just about interactive content. You want to be publishing video, you want to be publishing interactive polls and contests on the web, and then promoting it in the print edition. So talk about the fact that you're having the poll, or whatever it is that is happening on the website that's new. And then I like the idea of polls, especially because then you can report the results after the fact in an article that's on the website and in the print edition, and just continually talks about the newspaper as a multi-platform brand where the audience goes back and forth. Okay, so that's all that I got from the blog right now. A couple other areas that we're really interested in developing some technology for is marketing on video and audio. I already talked about audio articles, which is a totally automated way to get a recording of your stories, but we're also looking at YouTube and long form podcasts. So let's take a look really quick at this example. I'm having a lot of fun actually developing this product. This is an audio article that has been transformed into a video, so that allows us access to the YouTube audience. And it's simply taking photos and text from the article and matching it to the audio background. So let's take a look at this example here.
5 fire departments respond to fire. The home of Dusty and Claire Newton on the Asbury Road just outside of Grove Hill suffered extensive damage in a fire early Sunday morning. Grove Hill Fire/Rescue received the page of the fire at 4:35 a.m.
Okay, so and we can put things like promotional messages at the top of the video that allows us to track, how many sales is this video actually generating if we have a coupon code like that. Also put the coupon code at the end. So this is just one area that we're interested in, trying to get the word out more, because honestly, the younger audience, the next generation, is on YouTube, and they're on the podcast channels. Okay, let's just check in, make sure I didn't miss any questions or comments here. We got some. Looks like Terry and Vera have been doing. Okay, I actually missed one here, so let me.
We do have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Hey, Matthew. Okay, so how would a publisher handle subscribers who have both print and digital subs? Problem when digital subs and print handled by different systems. Yep, that's right. It is a problem if you don't have a way to get the systems talking to each other. And so the way we handle that is we have basically a tool for you to upload a CSV to the website from your print subscription system. So you can, for example, any circulation manager, can export a CSV. So you can get the data into WordPress, and then when your print subscribers go to the website and claim their free subscription, or maybe it's a discounted subscription, for the website because they're an active print subscriber, then it would just check against that list. Ideally, you're right, you want to use one system, and we actually have a customer in Texas that is using our MemberPress platform, which is how you manage, that's the plugin we use to manage digital subscriptions. She uses it to manage her print subscribers at the same time. So ideally, yes, you want to use one system, and I would say it's always going to be more convenient to have it in the cloud and have it be based on digital, because digital is where the instant access needs to happen. So that's really where you want all your transactions. The print, it's a week cycle until they need to get their next print edition. When people purchase digital, they expect it instantly. So it'd be better if they went to the website to purchase everything, the combo orders, the digital, and even the print only, and then you just exported a list of the print subscribers to your circulation system. Or you wouldn't even need the system, you export it to the post office. Okay, great question. And please let us know if there's any others that come up, Terry. So now this is the last concept. This is one of two new concepts that we're experimenting with at our hometown that I want to introduce you to. So this idea of kind of changing what it means to be a subscriber. I really like this idea. This is something that we do at our hometown of using live webinars as a way to generate new business by creating engaging content marketing. Okay, like I said, this is what I'm doing right now in this webinar, and I've been doing it for the last year, constantly. It's working very well for us. So the idea here would be, as a publisher, what if you started hosting a webinar via webcam, have your editor or maybe the editor and publisher sit down and talk about the paper once a week, discuss the top news of the paper, use your website, look at the website, share your screen just like I am, go through the website and talk about the articles, answer FAQs. You can promote upcoming events and advertisers in this format. But I like the thing I like most about it is that you could invite just your paying subscribers to participate in the live chat. And that's basically what we have going on here today. America's Newspapers members, can join us for being a member, and it's an added benefit of being part of their organization. So let's do the same thing for newspapers. Okay, redefine what it means to be a subscriber. This is a couple examples of the weekly office hours in practice. At the Wilson County News, they're doing a Facebook Live weekly show, and they're actually doing it more frequently than weekly now, but I know that they're sticking at least to Thursdays at 11 Central. You can count on that. You get a notification on your Facebook app. It's got terrific engagement, and so that's just an added benefit to subscribers. The Our Hometown office hours is the same thing. We do this once a week. It's a private go-to webinar for publishers on Our Hometown's WordPress platform. And also, it turns out to be a great video marketing tool, but it allows me to personalize the company. Sharing your webcam and your screen is a great way, to be transparent. And I think it would be really cool if newspapers could make their whole process more transparent. They could talk about how they're doing their reporting, how they, gather information. It could be all very educational for the audience, really. Real-time feedback and questions from customers. That's the best part about it, and that's what I love about these webinars too. Okay, let's wrap this up here. We've got just a couple minutes left here. The final FAQ, last but not least. Terry, can you walk us through what we have here?
Sure. This one comes from Texas. A lot of talk about Texas today. We launched our paywall a few years ago, and subscriptions seem to have leveled out. What can we do to increase and retain more digital subscribers?
Right. So this is the real question. Once you've rethought your paywall model, you've got your marketing all set up, you've got all those boxes checked, that we talked about earlier. How do you then add fuel to this engine and really grow your audience, your paying audience? And this is the second idea. We're testing this at a group of papers in Alabama. The idea of a subscription sales blitz. We're looking at this as a sales funnel here where we've got varying levels of awareness and interest. And so basically this is a way to kind of push people towards the action step. So the place that I would start is to use the newsletter activity, assuming you have a newsletter that's active, to identify warm leads. And then you can segment that newsletter audience into your current, expired, and never subscribers. You can do that by comparing a CSV list with your current active digital subscribers. So you basically need two spreadsheets, one with your email, the emails that are on your newsletter list, and one that is from your subscriber management system. Then identify the expired subscribers. Hopefully that information, I'm sure it's all stored in the subscription system. You've got their email, so you can send them a special offer. Hopefully you've got their phone number, because when they originally purchased the subscription, at least on our forms, it's a required field to get their phone number for a digital subscription. So you could give them, these people a call, assuming they're in, we see other signals of interest. The fact that they're on the newsletter probably isn't enough. You want to look at whether they're opening the newsletter, whether they're clicking on links, and you can sort these spreadsheets accordingly, and then just call down the most qualified first. Another really qualified subpopulation in this newsletter would be your current subscribers. And I think that this is a great opportunity to just reach out to them, call them to get general feedback on the website. If they have a minute, it's good if you could have like a short survey on the website or just on the newspaper in general, the content that you're covering, get some feedback. And then as a thank you, offer a discounted or even a free gift subscription. Okay, because this is someone that's already got a subscription. We can't sell them anything directly, but we could maybe sell them on bringing someone else into the fold, giving that gift subscription to a friend or family member, and the subscription could be for a month or two, and then hopefully, they do redeem that, they like it enough to continue as a subscriber directly. So there's room for growth even with the current business. And then you've got the never subscribers. These are the least likely to buy, so we would, approach these people last. But then you could do it, relatively efficiently with just a bulk email or a newsletter. Offer them a free month, no strings attached. The idea here is that they would have to sign up for that free account. By doing that, they would give us their phone number and a lot of information about them that we could use for future follow-up to try to close them and actually get them to put their credit card in. So those are some ideas that we're testing. Like I said, seeing some really interesting results, and kind of the jury's still out on that. So we'll see how that idea develops. Okay, so we're right on time at 2:46. So I'm done with my presentation. I appreciate everyone's attention. I just wanted to quickly give you a heads up on some of the events that we've got coming up for virtual conferences with our hometown. The one I do want to point out is we're going to do a deep dive on audio articles and video podcasting in February. So keep an eye out for these. You can register at ourhometown.com/virtual-conferences. And any feedback, if before you leave and have a great weekend, please leave a quick comment in the questions area. What did you like or not like about today's presentation? And let's have a quick announcement. I believe the winner of our first to comment contest was Matthew Paxton. I believe he was the first one to comment. Am I right, Terry? Maybe double check that. But
Yep, you're right.
Okay, great. Matthew, I want to offer you a free prototype of your newspaper on WordPress. I think I might have your email, but if you could just do me a favor, drop your email in the chat before you leave, and we'll follow up with more info on that. Another thing, everyone else on the call, you still have runner-up prizes here. So if you just go to our website, we'll send this link out. And if you could please actually drop, thank you, Matthew. If you could drop the, Terry, could you drop that link in the chat so people can just click on it? Go to that blog post, download a PDF of the presentation, and if you got 30 seconds, please complete our webinar survey. That'll be separate from the survey that is going to happen at the end of the Zoom call. And you too will qualify for a free prototype. We'd love to give as many of these out as we can, so please just take a few minutes to fill out that survey. And I think that is all I've got. So thank you very much, Erica. Did you want to wrap it up, or?
Sure thing. Thank you so much, Matt, for your presentation this afternoon, and thank you everyone who attended. Great presentation, by far.
Thank you.
Just a quick reminder, when the recording is done for this webinar, you'll receive a follow-up email on the direct link, so you can go ahead and watch it at your own leisure again. And Matthew, if they have any questions at any time, are they available to email you or get in contact with you about it?
Absolutely. Yes. Please do email me. I had a bunch of emails throughout this presentation, but I'll just throw mine back up here, mcl@our-hometown.com. I'd love to hear from everyone.
All right, thank you. Once again, Matt, thank you for presenting, and thank you everyone for joining us, and everyone have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Erica. And thank you, everyone. Take care. Let's see here.